Welcome back to the Satisfactory Beginner Guide. This is episode 2. We're going to be working on getting through tier 2. I got a new look here. I'm blue, green, and black. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty snazzy. If I bring out my delete gun, it's green and blue with a summer sloop on it. I like it. Today, we're going to look at increasing our power because we only have a capacity of 70. We're using a maximum of 64. We should definitely increase our power, get a more permanent solution. Before we jump into that, I did scan the other hard drives. I got exactly what I wanted, and that was cast screws. So we're going to select that. And then it doesn't hurt to have 6 additional inventory slots. And then the last one is cheap silica or fused quickwire. Don't really care about that right now, so I'm just going to leave it. I did go on a little bit of an exploration. I found some more immersive spheres, some more power slugs. I died. It's fine. Everything worked out. We've been building up supplies, so we have quite a bit of iron plates. And we got quite a bit of other stuff as well. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set up a more permanent power solution. We want to get off of these where you have to manually input it, and we want to have a bigger setup of biomass burners. In order for us to do that, we're going to probably want to set up some foundations so it looks better. So I guess the first thing we want to do is figure out where we want to put it, and I think we're going to probably want to put it a little ways from the hub. And down here looks to be a decent place. I usually like to do the 4-meter foundation to start with because you get high enough off the ground. So we'll go to Zoop here, and if you hold control, it'll snap to the world grid. You see that? So this is me holding control. We're snapping to the world grid. If I don't hold control, well, I can place it freely. But if I snap it to the world grid, it will rotate it exactly on the world grid. If you put it to the world grid and you put everything to the world grid, you'll be able to connect all your foundations, no problem. We're not going to worry about that in the future. But for now, just with our starter factory, we'll go with the world grid. It's not a big deal. So I'll place down some foundations here. Alright, now that we got a little bit of a setup, I want to do 8 biomass burners. Alright, we want to set up 8 of these biomass burners. As you can see, it takes up one whole foundation, so you might as well center it. And then you can hold control, and it'll snap right next to it. We're going to set up 4 there. Now we'll turn this around, and we'll set up 4 here as well. And then we can set up a splitter right down the middle. Make sure the orange is facing the way you want to go, the direction you're going. And then you can see when you're lined up, it'll give you those dashed lines. And then I usually, if I can, I like to jump on top of the splitter, but I don't have a pair of boots. There we go. So I slid jumped. If you slide, if you're running, slide, and jump, you actually get higher. Don't know why that happens, but it does. So you can see I'm lined up here, and then I line up there. That's where we're going to place it. And we're going to want to put one at each location. And then we just connect them all with belts. No big deal. And there we go. Now we're also going to want to connect all the power poles. So we'll probably just connect a power pole right here, and we'll go across. I'm trying to keep this nice and organized, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. So if it doesn't work out for you, not a big deal. I like to keep it organized because that's what I prefer. And then here's not going to be so organized, but that's okay. It's still fine. Alright, so we got our biomass burner set up. we need to complete one thing before we can actually set up the automatic production. And that is we need to turn in a milestone. So the milestone we're looking for is obstacle clearing. What we really want is the solid biofuel. Solid biofuel is the best biofuel that we have right now. So if we just turn everything in that we can get solid biofuel. I will collect all the resources and we'll submit that. Alright, we'll submit what we have. Send it off. Ada would tell us all about what we can do now.
Milestone reached. Solid biofuel.
And quite frankly, I don't care what she has to say. We could now make a chainsaw, which is actually pretty simple to make. We'll take care of that. And these are pretty good. But the issue with them is you need solid biofuel to power them. We don't have that right now. We will get it soon. We'll get it soon. What we want to do is we want to set up the automatic production of solid biofuel. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up a constructor here. And this will produce solid biofuel, so it just takes 120 biomass per minute. Which kind of sucks because we don't have a conveyor belt that can handle that yet. But we will. We'll get there. And then we want to set up 2 chains. One... And here, I'll just show you. So we want to set up 2 chains here. We can do leaves to... we can do leaves to biomass, which is exactly what we need. Or we can do wood to biomass. Why not set up both? You can set up one or the other and switch them if you need to. But I'm going to set up both just because it's easier for me. I find it a lot easier if I just set up both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a constructor here and a constructor here. Now we'll set up a merger right there. Make sure our green line is facing towards where we want to go. Because now we have 3 orange inputs. Now we can set that up. I'll turn this to straight mode. And to turn conveyor belt to straight mode or curve mode or default, you press R. And that'll switch between them. So this one will do biomass leaves. And this one will do biomass wood. And then whenever we get wood or leaves, we can just plop them in here. So let's set down a storage container. Put one there. And we'll put one there. So there we go. That's the simple setup. Now we just need to power all of this, which is easy enough. So we'll drag a power line over here, connect it, and then we'll drag one here. And we should be able to connect both of those. And now we need to drag a power line to our existing power so we can actually get this moving. And I need to find all the biomass so I can get that started. But if we look at our power, we will exceed 70 megawatts. We're only using between 50 and 65, but we will exceed if we keep down the path we're going. Let's grab all of our biomass. We'll grab the wood as well and the leaves, and we will get our biomass power plant up and running. This will be nice. So let's set up the biomass there. And I think I'll handcraft a bunch of biomass to kind of kickstart these generators. Plus I need some solid biofuel for myself, so I'm going to handcraft this for a while. Alright, The biofuel power plant is up and running. We have... well, I don't have any leaves, but I do have some biomass being produced. And we are making some solid biofuel. The only thing we need to do is upgrade this to a Mark II, because it's way too slow. And then we could also upgrade these to Mark IIs and they would all speed up. Well, this one wouldn't matter because we're only making 60 per minute anyways, but if you look, each of these only burn 4 per minute. So since we're only producing 60, if you do 60 divided by 4, we can technically have 15 biomass burners on one constructor. So keep that in mind. Just doing a little bit of math, you can kind of figure out your maximum. So 15 is our maximum. So now that we have some solid biofuel, we can actually use what the chainsaw is used for, and that is environmental destruction. So we can take down the trees and get wood and leaves. I love how they fall over. That is so good. And yeah, I'm gonna go destroy the area, completely demolish it, because we hate our planet. And yeah, this is a really good way to get biofuel early on. I do recommend getting a chainsaw sooner than later, because it helps immensely. So that's what the chainsaw is used for. So now we have a more stable power supply. We can let these burn out and we're not going to care. We're just going to lose 40 megawatts of power capacity. I can actually let this burn out too. I'm not going to care. So we'll lose an additional 30. So in total, we should have, what is it, 30 times 8, which is 240 megawatts of power. That'll get us far enough for now. The next thing I want to cover is I did end up finding mycelia on my journey. I didn't find enough mycelia, so I want to show you a location that you can go to collect mycelia early. I want to get mycelia right now. If we head east of where we're at, we are down here at the southwest. Yeah, we're at the southwest. We're gonna head east to over here. Alright, we're over here to the southeast. And we're kind of in this weird purpley flower area. These things here, they look weird. I'm gonna switch to single. If you chop these down, you actually get mycelia, and silica, and limestone. So, it's kind of interesting, but I recommend chopping all of them down that you can. Get as much mycelia as you can. Get as much silica as you can, because we will get some cool equipment once we get these. So I'm going to chop down all of these in this area, and I'll meet you back at the base. Ah, progress. Destroying planets one at a time. Anyways, I collected a ton of silica, some mycelia. We have some limestone that I don't really care about because we're already producing concrete. You can kind of go into that area too and collect more if you really want to, but I just kind of destroyed this section because I wanted to keep that one more pretty. This one I don't really care about because, well, clearly I just destroyed it all. And yeah, we'll head back to the base and do some cool stuff with mycelia. One of the benefits of cutting all that down is you actually get plenty of leaves and plenty of wood as a byproduct because you're cutting down trees at the same time. So it's actually kind of beneficial to do it. You can also use mycelia as a biomass, but I prefer to use it for my own needs here. So let's head back over here, and we can actually get rid of that now. We don't need it. It's done. It's donezo. Goodbye. We come in here and we look at the mycelia tab. We can start the research tree. And what we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We need 100 biomass.
The mycelial networks
So
of
I
these
actually need to
fungi
grab some
possess unusually
biomass.
resilient hyphae.
Shut up, Ada.
Additionally,
Alright, I got 100 biomass, so we're going to get some fabric here. And once we open this one up, we can stop Ada from talking. Now we want to get this parachute here. So we just need 10 fabric, but we're going to create 30. Because that's how much we're going to need, I believe. Well, I completely went against what I said and made as much fabric as I could. I made 132 to be exact. We can come back to the research tree and unlock the parachute. And now we can make ourselves a parachute. Ada is going to tell you something. It doesn't really matter. Another chain we want to go into is quartz, and we want these blade runners. But it takes 10 modular frames. I don't know if I collect them anywhere. I did actually collect them somewhere. So, we'll come back to the quartz. And we'll start the research. We might as well get the blade runners while we're here. Ada will tell us something. Don't really care. Now we come to the equipment workbench. Where we can create a parachute, which I want to do. And I can also create some blade runners, which I want to do. And now, if you look in your inventory, you can shift click these. So the blade runners go on your legs and the parachute goes on your back. I can run faster. That's what the blade runners do. And now I can deploy my parachute and float around. So if I fall off a cliff, I can now save myself. And that's exactly what I want. And we're good. We did it. Now there's also something else here in quartz. I can get inflated pocket dimension here. That's 6 more inventory slots. Why not? I mean, it's so easy. You might as well. I don't know what Ada is going to tell me here.
pocket dimension now.
Nothing important, clearly. The next thing on my to-do list is Logistics Mark II. That's not very difficult to complete, so we might as well. I just need to grab the materials. Grab some iron plates. Grab some rods. I can move so much faster now. And we can submit Logistics Mark II. And now we have better belts. So here, I'll go back into my logistics and I'll reset up my hotkeys. So conveyor belt Mark II on 3, conveyor lift Mark II on number 2. So now I will automatically have Mark II selected. If you press E, you can go back to Mark 1. Not a big deal. It's just, you're likely going to use a higher mark speed than a lower mark speed. So now what we can do is upgrade these belts. So we can provide this constructor with 120 biomass per minute. So if you look in here, conveyor belt Mark II provides 120 resources per minute. If you look on the right there, under info, that's exactly what we want to do. But now we can actually provide this constructor with enough materials constantly, so we're not running out. Now this also requires 120 per minute, so you might as well update it. This doesn't, it only requires 60, so there is absolutely no need to upgrade this belt. You will never take more than 60 per minute, it will not matter. It does spit out 300 per minute, but we won't have a belt to handle that for a long time. Then again, this only pushes out 60 per minute, so none of these belts need to be upgraded at all, because you cannot spit out more than you produce. It'll make the belts faster, but in such a small area, it really doesn't matter. So the next thing I want to do is part assembly, which gives us assemblers. And then we can create rotors and smart platings, and we can actually create reinforced iron plates. We can make reinforced iron plates right now, but we have to handcraft them, and I'd prefer not to do that. So we'll set up one automatically. I also want to get smart plating set up because then we can complete phase 1. We can now submit part assembly. Send that off. Ada's gonna tell us something and we don't care. She must be getting pissed. Alright, so we're gonna want to set up just a temporary thing here. An assembler requires 8 reinforced plates and 4 rotors to create. Not a big deal. We don't care where this is. We just want to set something up easy. And we want to set up smart plating. So we only need 50 of each. So we're going to split into 50. And if we just drop 50 and 50, we'll get 50 smart plating. I don't need to put it into a container. It will sit in here just fine. We're going to let this run, because this takes a while. You can only make these in the assembler. You can't handcraft them at all. So we're just going to let that run. We'll be ready for when the space elevator is built. In the meantime, we're going to create an automatic way to get reinforced iron plates, because we might as well. Athena wants me to blow some stuff up. I don't have a detonator. I'm sorry, Athena. I think we can start using these iron nodes down here to create some reinforced iron plates and rotors, and potentially even some modular frames if we have enough. So we might as well get started. I'm going to set up a quick foundation base. So I will cover up some of these nodes here. That's completely fine. It's actually preferred to do that. And I'll show you why in a bit. Alright. I got a nice wide open platform here. And I have some portable miners. So the reason why it's a good idea to place foundations over your nodes is once you put your automatic miner down, it will actually be level with your foundation. So you can plop your miner down on it, and when you bring the belt out, it is completely level, which is nice. It's nice to deal with. It's not annoying. Just got to make sure you can actually see your node so you can place them down. So we can do 4 over there and we can do 2 over here. And there we go. We have plenty to work with here. Now these are all impure. So impure nodes only require 1 smelter. We could set all this up in a nice neat line, or we could just set up the smelter right next to it. It's not a big deal. So I tend to like to work backwards from things. So we'll set down 2 assemblers. I like to work backwards. We need reinforced iron plates and we need rotors. So reinforced iron plates is just 30 iron plates and 60 screws. That's pretty easy. And then rotors is 20 iron rods and 100 screws. That's pretty easy. The 30 iron plates is kind of annoying because we need more than 1 miner to satisfy this. That kind of sucks, but it's not a big deal. We might want to set up 2 of these, because then we could also set up a modular frames, which requires 3 reinforced iron plates, which we're producing enough here because we got 5, but you kind of want more reinforced iron plates. So producing 10 and then having some just go to modular frames, that'd be pretty good. And then we'd also have a much easier way to get 60 iron plates, because then it's 3 miners. I think we'll do that. Okay, here's what I have going on. I have 2 reinforced iron plates that I want to build. I have 1 rotor, and I have 1 modular frame, which is going to require reinforced iron plates. So we'll work that out. I might actually sink these back a little bit so that we can work with it. We're going to set up storage containers here. Come on, line up. Sometimes it don't like to line up. There we go. Then I'll also set one here so I know where I want the storage container. And then I'm gonna sink these back a bit because we're gonna have to split and merge. And I'll show you what we're doing here. So now if I place down the assemblers, I want them this way. So we'll do 2 reinforced iron plates there. And what we need, and this might have been better if I set this up like this. We actually need the splitter to be lined up with that. And you can see it's lined up. Now if I set up, oh yeah, I wanted to set Mark 1s because I don't need Mark 2s. Gotta be careful of that. So now we're taking some of the reinforced iron plates that we're producing here. We combine them together. Half of them will go this way until that's full. The other half will go that way. And then it'll be a little more than half once that's full. So if we plop a power shard in here, we need to get that number to 100. So let's try just getting 5. That's 125. We need a little bit less than that. So it's probably like what? 4.8333. Oh, we're close. It's 4.8. Okay. So 4.8 rotors per minute. We require 120 screws per minute and 24 iron rods. That's perfect. We don't care how many rotors we're making per minute. We just want to get those input numbers nice and even. So now, since we're working backwards, we might as well continue working backwards. We needed 60 iron plates, which is 3 constructors worth. So we'll plop our constructors right here. And this is what I like to do here. So I set 1 down, iron plates, so we produce 20. We need 2 more. And now, since I middle mouse clicked this one, it kept the settings for the other 2. And then here, I'm going to merge them all together. So they're all merged. And then to keep it nice, we'll set this one up. Ah, shoot. That needs to be marked 1s. I always forget that. We'll set those up higher because we can actually keep this nice and organized. And then we'll set up splitters on the top. And we can connect them together. They'll split nice and even. And then we'll set up our conveyor belt like that. And look at that. Pretty nice and organized. So the screws are going to come in from that side. We can split them. And this one's actually going to require a Mark II. Because we're going to have 120. I don't have enough reinforced iron plates. Which is a shame because I kind of need them. So in the meantime, we'll just set up everything else. We need 3 smelters, which is pretty simple to set up. And it's 1 to 1 to 1, so we don't have to worry about anything else. We're just not going to be able to connect that nicely. Because of course, we might have to scooch that in a little bit. I'm going to press H, I'm going to hold control, and of course, it's in the clearance. Ah, dang, that sucks. So for that case, we're going to turn the miner a little bit, so we have a little bit more clearance. It's going to look kind of stupid, but it's fine. And then we'll drop an iron ingots here. And we'll switch to curved mode. That doesn't work. We'll switch to default. That does work. So there's our first iron ingot. And now we can middle mouse click the smelter and drop them in front here. And all we have to do is connect the miners. So we'll connect that miner and we'll connect that miner. And those are done. So now the iron plates are completed. Now we need screws. And this one's pretty simple as well. We just need to drop a smelter in front. And this is going to be iron. And since we only need 120 over there, we can keep them separate from each other. So if we drop a constructor down, we're going to look at what we need here. We're going to use the cast screw recipe. Now, this recipe is kind of annoying because it's going to tell you 12.5 iron ingots to 50 screws. Well, that's not a nice ratio. That's actually a really crappy ratio. What we can do is we can underclock this to 40. And that gives us, so 40 per minute, gives us 10 iron ingots. We can set up 3 constructors and we'll get our 120 that we need. And we'll be golden. So now we know what to do. I need some more reinforced iron plates, so I'm going to craft those by hand. Once I set this one up, I shouldn't have to do it anymore. But until then, I have to do it. Okay, so now that I have some reinforced iron plates, the smartest way to do this is to set up your constructor, especially early game. The smartest way to do this is to set up your constructors close enough to your machines so you use less reinforced iron plates. And it's important to do this the way I'm doing it. We want to set up our recipe first in the first constructor before creating all of them. So we want to make sure we set the target production rate to 40 per minute. And then we can look at it from a distance because it'll be easier if we just look at it out here. We middle mouse click the machine and it'll copy exactly what we have. So since we middle mouse clicked it, they are all the same thing. You don't have to set them up every time. So we're going to want to set up a merger. Make sure the green arrow is facing towards the machines we want to go to. We only need these to be marked 1s as they're entering. As they're leaving, they need to be marked 2s. And we can connect them to our machines. And now, all we have to do is set up a splitter here. And we only need mark 1 coming out of the smelter. And we can connect all of our constructors. And we're good. That is the reinforced iron plates. So once we set up power, get this all hooked up to power, we'll be good. And this is why I like to work backwards, because it shows me how much space I have to work with, and it shows me exactly what I need to do. So this isn't too bad, huh? I'll give you a little, I'll decouple the camera here so you can kind of see what we're doing. I'm really bad at driving this. So we have 3 miners coming into 3 different smelters, all producing iron plates. And then we just combine them all together and send them off into 2 assemblers for reinforced iron plates. We have 1 miner going to a smelter, going to cast screws. If you don't have cast screws, you can do rods, and it'll give you the same exact amount. It doesn't change anything. You just have to make sure you're producing the right amount. It would just be an extra step. A little more power. Not a big deal. So 1 smelter to 3 screws. And then you combine them all and produce your reinforced iron plates. So now we are producing reinforced iron plates. There we go. We merge them together. And then 1 goes off and is waiting over here, which is the first step of the modular frames. We need to reinforce iron plates. And the second step of modular frames is really easy. So this is actually working out nicely. I will try to combine... I will try to get these power now, just so they can accept it. We'll do that. So this should start accepting reinforced iron plates. Perfect. We'll let that fill up while we build the rest of the machines. So the nice thing about this is we already set up screws once. We can just do that again. It's the same exact setup. We have 2 over here. We set that up one more time and send it here. It just all goes here. The rods, they're similar. They're the same thing. They're just less constructors. Not a big deal. We'll set up a little bit more out here. Might as well get going on that. We do want to make sure we're close when we produce the screws. And I think if we set it up here, in fact, I can just middle mouse click that. If we set it up here, this will be close enough. It will be a little tight with the other machines. We'll have to kind of squeeze the belts in, but not a big deal. And we'll merge together exactly like we did before. We just need Mark 1s and then a Mark 2 into the final spot. And then we just need to split like we did prior. We'll make sure that we have this set up correctly. We do. And then we'll actually set up the smelter out here. Might as well keep it simple. This will be iron. And I think we'll send this up into the air so we're not bothering the rods that we need. And then all we need for rods, and we might as well just set it up over here too. But we'll try to keep it distant so we know what we're looking at. We'll try to separate them so they look a little different. We can just set up 2 rods here. That is 30. I just want to double check my numbers here. We have 24 and we have 12. So that's 36. We need a little bit extra, which is fine. We could set up an additional. We'll just have to do a little bit of overclocking. So we can set up 45. That'd be fine, I think. So if we just did some overclocking, it won't matter too much. Now we need to merge all these together. And the last split is here. So we can just put these into the machines. I don't like that. I gotta fix it. There we go. I don't like when things clip. I try not to clip them as much as I can. And then we just combine that. And that'll do. So we'll need a smelter. And that's going to clip, unfortunately, so we'll put it back here. And this is going to have to be iron, and this can just connect straight in. So this is where we're going to have to overclock a little bit. I just need 2 power slugs. But for now, we can power everything up. Alright, I got 2 power shards. So all we have to do is produce enough rods, which we will produce extra. It'll use a little extra power. It's not a big deal. The ratios aren't nice, but it's fine. So 1 in here, just we'll go 45. And then 1 in the smelter, we'll go up to 45, just max it out. And that'll handle it just fine. So it's showing it's not handling it, just hasn't caught up yet. Once this hits it, it'll be at the speed it needs to be at. So now that we're producing 45, it'll split nicely between these three, which are 15 each. And then once they all combine, that'll be enough to cover these two. And we will be producing reinforced iron plates, rotors, and modular frames. And our basic iron factory is complete, which is nice. We did it. Pretty easy setup, right? Very simple setup. You get basics of overclocking and underclocking. And we can set all this up with just a few machines. And you can see how they're separated. So this whole system over here is just for reinforced iron plates. Pretty separate. This and a little bit of that is just for rotors. And then that plus one of those is for modular frames. Pretty simple, right? I hope it makes sense. Please let me know if none of this makes sense, or follow my video directly. The best way to learn in this game is to do it. So now that we have... Whoa, I am in smoke. Oh, we are not. We aren't putting these into storage containers. That's completely fine. We are creating rotors. We should be creating modular frames here soon. Yep, they are producing. They take a while, so that's why you kind of want to set this up early, because they do take a while to create. And here we go, 2 modular frames. There it is. We are now producing modular frames. We are producing reinforced iron plates. Beautiful. It's slow, it's fine, but it's needed. And how much power are we taking? Well, we're about to blow a fuse. Oh no, that's a thing. We had just enough power to make it through. In other news, the smart plating is done, so we can get rid of that. And yeah, if we ever dip a little bit above 242, we're gonna blow a fuse, because we only have 240. That could be a problem. But I don't think we'll ever cross that threshold. We should be okay. The thing is, we're gonna check on what Athena has for us. Ooh, Athena, a purple power slug? You shouldn't have. Okay. Now, we can do this. This is fine. We might as well do it. We're here. I'm gonna grab what I need. Alright, I got enough stuff here, so we will submit what we can. And we're ready to get the resource sink. Ada.
Milestone.
Yes, thank you. I explain things better than you, Ada. It's fine. There is the jump pads. I could get them, but I don't really care for them right now. The resource sink is cool. I like the resource sink. So they're in the special tab here. The awesome sink. I don't have enough reinforced iron plates. Of course I don't. Alright, so the awesome sink is a massive machine. If you place one down, the only way you can put stuff in here is directly by belt. So the easiest way to do this is to just set up a storage container on the outside and connect it directly in. That's it. This does need power, which I'm not going to do right now until I set up more biofuel. I'll set up 2 more, because I think we're producing enough. Uh-oh. 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 Okay, we're in trouble. I'm gonna have to do a little Resource collection. Oh no. Oh boy. That's fine. It's good that we caught it now. But I really need to do some resource collection. So I'll be right back. Alright. Oh, we blew a fuse. Oh no. There it is. Ah, crap. Oh man. Power crisis averted. We now have plenty of power. We have 300 capacity. Our maximum consumption is 242. We're good. We're good. We're good. Actually, I should delete these power lines. That might paint a picture. No, it's still 300. We're good. We're good. Okay. There's one more thing I want to do in this episode. And that is build... Well, there's two more things. I want to talk about the awesome sink, and I want to build the space elevator. So the space elevator, by the way, if you press the plus button on here, it'll give you a list of materials over here. So you can see exactly how much stuff you need. And as you can see, I need iron rods and concrete. And now iron rods are complete, so now I need to go get some concrete. And that is over here. Which I'm going to need to set up more concrete, by the way, because this is simply not enough concrete. But it's enough for now. We can set up the space elevator. And we can do that wherever we want to. I might set that up down here, so it's not anywhere too close to me. Because we really only need it for one thing right now, and that is... We're going to remove that. That is just to send off the first part. And this is one of my favorite things, by the way. I love this animation. It's so good. So that's built. What's that up there? Oh boy. What is that? Nah, it's so cool. It's so good. It's kind of disturbing at the same time, but it's good. There we go. The space elevator. Yep. So that's ready. And remember those 50 smart platings I made earlier? Guess what? We need them.
Project assembly initialized.
Yeah, Ada. It's fine. So, I needed those. We can send off the parts. That is exactly why we did that. We seal it. This is a cool animation too. And then it spins. That's cool. And now we're ready to send it off. Okay, Ada.
Welcome to the Project Assembly
Okay, I
Pioneer
guess we're getting a
Progress
slideshow.
presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 1 will be completed and the distribution platform will be constructed. After completion of Phase 1, the technologies of Tiers 3 and 4 will become available in the hub. Highlights are automated power, steel production, personnel transportation, and many more. Completing Phase 2 of project assembly is your next main objective. New project parts will need to be produced and delivered to the space elevator as you have done previously. Continue to construct, automate, explore, and exploit for a better fix-it future.
Yep. She said it. Next episode, we're going to be looking at automating power. Now we can send it. Now this is really cool too. I like this. Ooh, it's powering up. Boom. That's really cool. And then it's a nice, really cool animation. Yeah, no, that's really cool. There we go. The space elevator is constructing. And then that comes back down. Nice. That's it. So now we have access to tier 3 and 4. What we're going to do next episode is coal power. This is highly important. It basically makes the biomass obsolete, and I don't have to constantly collect leaves and wood. That is coming up soon. That is still useful in case you consume more power than you're creating, but yeah, this is definitely important. We are producing reinforced iron plates, rotors, and modular frames, so we're sitting really good there. We kind of just have to let that build up. So that's coal power. What's expected after that, we can create some vehicles, and this will allow us to automatically transport materials back and forth using tractors. That's pretty cool. We can work on that. We can do steel. Steel is awesome. A better sword. This will probably be one of the first things I do, except for coal. Then we can also start setting up blueprints. Logistics Mark III, that's just a better conveyor belt. Then advanced steel production. We'll get miner Mark IIs, which are better automatic miners. And then we have power towers. We can send power longer distances. That'll be really cool. And then there's hypertubes, another form of transportation. These are cool too. So look forward to that in future episodes. The last thing I wanted to talk about was this sink here, so we should probably at least set this up. I have it connected to power now. What we do is it'll say we need 500 points until the next coupon, or 1,000 DNA points until the next coupon, so they're separate. I did have a bunch of limestone just sitting around, and I didn't want to do anything with them, so I could dump those in. I could also dump in the heavy modular frames because I'm not going to use them right now. Same with the heat sinks, just not going to touch them. So we might as well. We'll start with, so we'll see that the heavy modular frames actually give quite a bit. So one went in, we already got 12, 15, 18, 20. Yeah, we got quite a bit already. The heat sinks will give quite a bit as well. Not as much, I don't think, but it'll still give a pretty good amount. So we're up to 22 coupons already. And then we can dump in limestone. These will give you next to nothing. They're giving you 2, I think. But it's a good way to just get rid of resources and actually getting something out of them. And that is what the resource sink does. You can get rid of stuff without, like, just getting rid of it to get rid of it, you know? You can actually get something out of it. You don't waste. So that also comes with the awesome shop, which I am missing iron plates because of course. And the awesome shop is useful because you can get some cool stuff to build with. And I'll show you that here. So the awesome shop, we'll just place that right there. Doesn't really matter where we place it right now. You'll see we can actually buy some stuff using the tickets that we just got from the sink. So we'll print the coupons. We have 22 to spend today. So we have fix-it specials. We can do a fix-it factory cart, which is actually really fun, but I'm not going to waste it on that right now. You can buy a boombox with some tapes. That's if you want to listen to music. And then here's like special achievements. You can get statues. And then more statues here. The golden nut is the hardest one to get because you need 1,000. It's possible, but it's hard. And under management, we can get wall and ceiling mounts for conveyor belts. We can get wall holes. We can get floor holes. We can also get power outlets that connect to the wall. Those are all pretty good. And then under organization, we can get signs, lighting, storage. These two are kind of useless. The hazard one is good if you have like radioactive stuff, but we're not going to be touching that for a while, so we don't really care. The customizer, this one's pretty good too, because concrete foundations and asphalt foundations make everything look better. And then the paint finishes make things look better as well. And you can also get concrete walls, you can get glass roofs and stuff like that. And there's also a bunch of other foundation types. We can get stairs, we can get half foundations, quarter pipes. A lot of cool stuff to build with. And then with the walls, we can get doors, gates, windowed walls, tilted walls. Yeah, that's all really cool. And architecture, this is one of my favorites. The ladder is really important. I might actually add that to cart right now. We can get catwalks. A personnel elevator will come later. We can get roofs. We can get pillars. And then the beams will come later. We can get railings, barriers, ventilation stuff. That's really good. Equipment. Right now we can get a coffee cup. I think there's more that comes later. I can't remember. And then under parts, you can actually buy parts if you want to. I wouldn't recommend this. It's not needed at all. But if you do need it, it's here. So we have ladders. That's one thing I wanted. And then under management, wall power outlets are good. And then all of these are good as well. I like to take care of these right away. So that's 7 more. And then customizer, I want concrete foundation and asphalt foundation. So we have 5 left. So with the 5 left that we have, we can take a look at what's available. We can do foundation stairs, or we could do gates. I do like gates, but we'll do gates. Those are nice. And we can also go search other crash sites to try to find more coupons, because there'll be stuff that we can't use yet, and you might as well just sink it because it doesn't matter. So that'll be an endeavor. And between this episode and the next one, I might actually go do that. I might go search for hard drives, because we're definitely going to need more hard drive to research. So that might be my plan between this episode and next. I'm not going to do an episode of me searching for hard drives. I already kind of showed you how to do that in the first episode, so we're going to call it good. And I hope you're looking forward to coal power in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if anything doesn't make sense to you of what we did. Especially over here. If this doesn't make sense, feel free to join my Discord, ask questions. I'll try to answer them. I'm not always around, so if I'm busy, just be patient. I'll answer it eventually. But yeah, let me know if anything doesn't make sense here. Try to follow it. I'll have a picture above so you can kind of see, and I'll try to explain it. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a good one. See you later.